All right, guys, we're back here with Dr. Tripp. He's been sharing with us this week. And Dr. Tripp, you've been talking a lot this week about Jonah and his experience and God calling him to something that did not seem easy. It was a difficult challenge for him. When you first felt God's call on your life to go into ministry, what were obstacles you faced or things that maybe made you want to kind of run away and flee from God's call?
Yeah, I had a moment early in ministry where I was just overwhelmed. And I think it's because I thought that ministry is about me being capable, and no one's ever capable for ministry. God doesn't call us because we're able, He calls us because He's able. And so I resigned. I was running. I was a pastor who was running. And that Sunday I made my resignation statement. The congregation, I had planted the church, the congregation was shocked. And as I was leaving, I was the last one out, I was locking the door of the church. The oldest man in the congregation was standing on the porch. He said, "Can I talk to you?" I said, "Okay." He said, "Look, Paul, we know you're immature." I thought, well, that's a good start. But then he said, "Where is the church going to get mature leaders if immature leaders run?" And I knew at that moment I couldn't go. I was crying on the way home, walking back to our house. Lowell was already home with her kids, and the word picture I used for her, "I can't leave." God nailed my shoes to the porch of that church. I can't go. I called up my leaders and said, "Okay, I'm an idiot. Can I unresign?" And the next Sunday, I did. I took back the resignation. I stayed there another 8 or 9 years. I think the biggest obstacle always in ministry, the thing that causes burnout and discouragement, is we think we have to be capable. And we're just not. I have no ability to turn a person's heart. I have no ability to make a person believe. I have no ability to make the Spirit of God move. I have no ability to make a church size-wise bigger. I have none of that. Only God can do that. And man, if you load that on your shoulders, it won't take long before you just think, I don't want to do this anymore.
Right. Yeah, and I think you mentioned this morning, I think some of that comes in line with sometimes our formal theology doesn't match up with our functional theology. Yeah. How do we begin to bridge the gap between those two things?
I think that beginning to do two things. One, examine your own life and say, are there places where my regular responses don't really match up to what I believe? I think you can get a certain degree of insight there, but I think you only do this in community. I think you have to invite people in your life, give them permission to just bring inconsistencies before you and not be offended and not be mad. I ask people to do that, and I say, if I get mad at you, remind me that I asked you to do this. Because I know I need it. Because the problem with spiritual blindness is I'm blind to me, and I'm blind to my blindness. So there's only a degree to which I can do this alone. I'm more and more persuaded that self-examination is a community project. I need people to help me to do that. And I think everybody needs trusted people in your life that you know love you, that you know have some wisdom, who you have invited to point out inconsistencies. I still have people in my life. I still have those conversations. I still need them.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Tripp, it's been a joy to have you here this week. Thanks for sharing with us, for challenging us through Jonah's story, and just for taking time to be a part of our conference.
It's been great to be here. Thanks.